Hi, welcome to this part of my review featuring dungeon tactics. If you haven't seen the other parts of my review, featuring this video game style diceless tabletop RPG, please check out the playlist in the description below. This time we are going to talk about Dungeoneering. As the characters delve into the dungeon, they will encounter strange and mysterious creatures that want nothing more than to eat them. They'll also have access to hidden riches, perhaps. Combat will begin when the characters encounter a set of enemies in the dungeon. The characters will act according to their initiative value in descending order, with the character with the highest initiative acting first. Characters who ambush their enemies have a free set of actions before combat begins. Let's talk about action points. All actions taken during combat are based on the character's current action points, or AP. All characters start the battle with an AP equal to their initiative value. At the start of their next turn, the character will restore their perception value in AP. A character can end their turn early, saving any remaining APs for the next turn, up to 10 APs. When a character takes an action, they must expend the number of APs specified by the ability. A character can't have an AP depth or have a negative AP at the end of their turn. So it's all quite basic. You encounter the enemies, initiative is determined, and then all characters begin their turns. Every character will have their basic set of abilities they can perform in combat, with individual classes determining other abilities and skills they can use. All abilities are designated with their three components: name of ability, effect of the ability, AP cost of the ability. That's it. Each action is also split between battle and defensive actions. Battle actions are taken during the character's turn, while they can only use defensive actions on the opponent's turn to block attacks or dodge out of the way, etc. The actions are pretty self-explanatory, and they come with their AP cost. In the case of battle actions, you have things such as offensive abilities, attack, interact, use item. When it comes to defensive actions, you have block, dive, dodge, etc. When it comes to other actions, you have guidelines on how to apply AP cost to any action that is undertaken. When it comes to the battlefield, this is the area in which the fighting takes place. When maneuvering around the battlefield, it is essential to remember and consider positioning and the effects of your allies' abilities. After all, you don't want to get in the way of an ally's attack. When it comes to movement, this is pretty basic to understand. You can move in any direction, but there could be hazardous materials, substances, terrain, perhaps lava, perhaps some difficult to traverse tiles, such as a tile of water or areas of water, perhaps mud. Moving through such terrain could actually cost APs. You also have details on the sizes of the creatures. Every creature and character in the dungeon has a designated size, which dictates several features about how they will function, how many characters can fit in a large tile, and how many tiles they take up. When you are outside of combat exploring the dungeon, you need to carry out checks as many other RPGs, but here you have flat checks or payment checks. Flat checks are very easy to understand. Perhaps you have a perception of 4, and some things can only be detected with a perception of 4 or above, so that's perfect. But what if something is so well hidden that you require a perception of 5? So it would be impossible. You need to raise that perception as you level up between adventures. I would highly recommend that you prioritize roleplay, so perhaps based on the description of the character's actions, you could get a bonus to your values, and that way you would be able to succeed at otherwise seemingly impossible tasks. When it comes to payment checks, these usually require payment in the form of your health or items. Maybe you need to use one of your weapons as a tool to open a chest or a door, but it breaks. Or maybe you suffer damage during a strenuous activity. You can recover from damage by resting and using healing potions, restorative items and such. And between adventures, you will obtain advancements that you can spend to increase your abilities, increase tiers, or improve statistics. You can also use your loot to purchase advancements as a sort of training, but this is quite expensive. If a character dies, of course you can create a new character, but it is up to the campaign that you are running to determine if you begin with a few advancements or from zero. Thank you for watching this part of the review. In the next part we are going to talk about the class abilities. This reminds me so much of Final Fantasy Tactics. You can almost envision the character jumping across the tiles, you know, those little tiles that do not cause damage, but here if you fall from very high places, of course you will take damage. It's also very easy to understand how you deal automatic damage as you are using your attacks, your abilities, as you are protecting yourself, dodging, avoiding. This game is highly strategic and requires a good understanding of positioning, especially when it comes to area of effect attacks. Thank you for watching this part of the review, and thank you for your likes and your comments. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know. And thank you so much to those of you that are going the extra mile to support the channel. If anyone else wishes to further support the channel, the information on how to do that will be in the description below. And remember, it is better to roleplay and fail in character than not to roleplay and fail as a player. Once again, thank you, and see you later.